Hey there everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at more leaks and rumors regarding Arcade1Up's potential upcoming cab, Time Crisis. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. Give this one a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So, after months and months of little activity from Arcade1Up, we've suddenly been flooded with information. Some of it official, some of it unofficial. Starting with last week at EVO, when Arcade1Up officially announced this. And of course, this is the Street Fighter II Deluxe, like I said, that they just announced at the EVO tournament last weekend. So this is something official, obviously directly from Arcade1Up. You can see it here on the Arcade1Up site, coming this fall for $500. But now moving into more unofficial territory, we've got more leaks and rumors regarding a cab that we've known about since October of last year and have just been waiting for that official release, and that of course is Time Crisis. So before I start to get into this, I want to give a couple of shout outs. And the first one is to Lewis Chambers, who tweeted this out yesterday. And I saw this upon getting up this morning, which is what prompted me to make this video. Wait, are we still calling them tweets now that the platform has been changed to X? Are they X's? Honestly, no clue. Somebody let me know. No idea. In any case, that tweet, or whatever you want to call it, was actually based on this post on Reddit from user NeoHyper64. And it says, Time Crisis Retail Leak. This is it. Now, this is actually from a German retail site. And I'll get into this in a minute, but before I do, I just want to take you guys back to October of last year. And of course, all these Time Crisis leaks and rumors started with this. This was a leaked photo supposedly from Arcade1Up's pop-up store, I believe, down in Miami, showing off what we now think is a prototype of the Time Crisis cab. Now, a lot of people were not really thrilled when this first launched. Now, yes, they were excited that we might be getting Time Crisis, but the look of the cab really threw people off. It was just a little too plain in the front. That foot pedal just looks like a plastic toy, things of that nature. So people were really hoping that we'd see some update to this and that this wasn't the final design. Now fast forward to a couple of weeks ago and we had another leak from another retailer outside the US also showing off a look at the Time Crisis cab, but this time from a side view like you can see here. Now a lot of people were excited for this. They said it looked a lot better, but honestly, and this is from another Reddit post, when you looked at it, it really was just a side view of the original leaked prototype. So there wasn't much different here. Now, so far, all of these leaks have been completely unofficial. They've been from retailers outside the US or different things of that nature. But we did get one leak directly from Arcade1Up themselves in the form of an update to their Arcade1Up app that was promptly taken right off. And that was a look at the games list that was potentially coming for Time Crisis. Now, I'll get into that a little bit more as we continue on with this new leak. And of course, that brings us to now, and we have this German website called Galaxus, which is showing off this Arcade1Up Time Crisis Deluxe 4-in-1 Wi-Fi cab. Now, yes, they are using the term Deluxe just like everything that we have seen this year, whether it's older re-releases or the one new IP we've gotten so far in Fast and the Furious. Now, looking at the descriptions here, this is what they have to say. Arcade1Up is thrilled to introduce the Time Crisis arcade game, bringing hardcore retro gamers the title that took the gaming world by storm in 1995. Battle Wild Dog and other infamous boss characters in this classic arcade game with Wi-Fi enabled leaderboards, no subscription required. And that's not all. This 4-in-1 slot features Time Crisis as well as arcade classics like Point Blank, Steel Gunner, and Steel Gunner 2. No change required. Known for its authentic arcade experiences, Arcade1Up is an absolute must-have for family prayer rooms, fan caves, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's get into some of the features. Flush cabinet design standing 70 inches tall, so this is a big boy. Now, as we'll see, I think a lot of that has to do with the extended marquee on it, but it's pretty darn tall. Two guns with mechanical slide function, so that's interesting. So it does say that the guns are going to have the slide function like the Namco guns did, and not just a standard recoil in them, which is pretty cool. Single action foot pedal, Time Crisis only. Time Crisis is the only game on this cab that will require a foot pedal. Wi-Fi leaderboards, illuminated marquee, 17-inch LCD screen. So yes, this will have a 17-inch screen. I am going to assume, even though it says here, doesn't say here, that it will probably be the BOE screen we've been used to, but we don't know that for sure. And includes the 4 classic games: Time Crisis, Point Blank, Steel Gunner, and Steel Gunner 2. Now, like I said, we did have that leak directly from Arcade1Up in their app, leaking the games list, and these are the 4 games that were leaked. So it adds a little more credibility to this being actually real. And of course, down here, you've got all the dimensions and things like that. Now, moving back up to the top, they've got several pictures of the cab on their website, and I gotta say, these are the best looking pictures we've seen so far. Now, this is a huge change from the original that we saw, and I gotta say, I'm loving this a lot more than the original design. First off, you can see that they've gotten rid of the Namco logo up here. Not sure why that is. Maybe that has to do with licensing. You've got the speakers here with these speaker grills, which look much more pronounced, much nicer. The kick plate here, much better than that blank white kick plate. You've got the Time Crisis logo. You've got a faux coin door on it. You've got the coloring on it. I love it so much better. And of course, here's a better look at the side art, which I'll show you a little bit more of that as we go on. But again, very nice looking. This is very similar to the other leak that we got, but still, I think the overall package is a lot better looking. And of course, here's a look at the front of the cab with the list of the 4 games. Top-down view of the control panel. Obviously, a very simple control panel. There's no joysticks or buttons or things like that. This is a gun game. You've got your 1 and 2 player start. You've got your on, off, and volume controls. And you've got your live button for Wi-Fi leaderboards. And of course, the 2 guns. Now, notice they just say Wi-Fi leaderboards. It doesn't look like there's going to be any online play for this. Again, Time Crisis being single player, but the other 3 games are 2-player. But it looks like you're probably going to have to just play these side by side without online play. Kind of makes sense for a game like this, I would guess. I would have to think that doing online play for something like this, a light gun that requires, no latency, that requires, the light, the camera interacting with the screen, things like that, would probably be very difficult for them to do right now with online play. Here's another look at that side art just from a different angle. And of course, here it is with a render of somebody standing next to it playing it. And remember, I said this thing was 70 inches, but if you notice, it looks like a lot of that height is taken up by this huge extended marquee here. Now, thank goodness this does light up, unlike the new Big Buck Hunter Pro Deluxe that they just announced. Now, one other thing that I want to point out is the pedal down here. If you remember the original leak, it was a plain white pedal. It looked very toyish. This one looks a little better. Now, again, it's hard to tell from this whether that is actually metal or plastic. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say it's probably still plastic, but with like a faux metal look to it, just to make it look a little more realistic. But, temper your expectations. It's probably still a plastic pedal. Hopefully, it's just sturdy enough. Now, again, there's only one here because Time Crisis is the only game on here that's going to require that foot pedal, and it's a single-player game. Now, also keep in mind, we got a 17-inch screen here. We've got these guns really close to the screen with that pedal right there. Hopefully, this pedal will be on a wire. Obviously, it's going to have to be connected somewhere, but hopefully it's on a wire that can extend where you can pull this out to stand back from the cab in order to play. You're going to want to stand away from this cab to play it more than right up in front of it like this. So let's see what happens with that. And of course, with the other games, Point Blank, things like that, standing back isn't going to be a problem because you're not going to need that pedal. And of course, now here we have a picture of what it looks like, somebody standing right in front of it playing it. Again, you're too close to that thing. You've got to be back a little bit from it, I would think. So hopefully that pedal does extend. Another look at the front of the cab. All right, and here's a look supposedly at the box that it's going to come in as well. All right, and there you go. Just, in my opinion, a much better looking cab than the original release that we saw. Now, as of right now, this German website is just saying, notify me that there's no availability to it. Obviously, So we're really not seeing a price on here right now, but I will tell you that from that Reddit post, I've seen people go through it, and some of them said they, at one point, they were able to add this to a cart just to see a price, and the price came up as 929. Now, I'm going to assume, being that this is a German website, that that's 929 euros, which translates to a little over $1,000 US. About 1,020 to be a little more precise. Now, I gotta tell you, that is a hefty price tag for this unit. I'm hoping that that's not true. Now, we've heard rumors again in the past that this being about $800 US, and I would say even that is a little too high. Now, this needs to be right around the same price as the Big Buck Hunter Pro Deluxe at $600, and I think it would be a better deal for a cab like this. Now, would I rather have it even lower than that? Yeah, but I have a feeling that being a light gun game and things of that nature, it's probably going to require a slightly heftier price tag. So at $600, I think this is probably a good deal. But when you start getting into $800 and $1,000, I just feel like you're asking a little too much for this. So we're just going to have to wait and see what the actual price is once this officially comes from Arcade1Up. Now, speaking of that, again, this has been a very interesting time if you've been following Time Crisis, because one of the things many of you will know is that there was an FCC listing for Time Crisis a few months back. Now, obviously, because this is going to have Wi-Fi leaderboards on it, they had to put an FCC listing out there for it, but apparently there have been rumors within the last week or so of that FCC listing being pulled or revoked. So now what that means for this cab, I don't know. Now, again, this is from a German retailer, so outside the US, no need for FCC filings. Those are only required within the US. So I don't know what's going on with this cab in terms of that, whether that is just a rumor, whether that has to do with maybe they had to redo the FCC listing for it because they changed some things on it. No idea. So again, we've heard this time and time again, nothing is official until it's official. So we're just going to have to wait and see what ultimately pans out with this. Now, before I end this video, there is one other thing that I want to show off real quick, and this is from Instagram user ArcadeGamerAU, and it appears to be gameplay footage from the cab. Alright, so again, shout out to Instagram user ArcadeGamerAU for this. This appears to be gameplay footage of the Arcade1Up Time Crisis. You can see that white Sinden border around the monitor. You can see what looks like the sides of the Arcade1Up cab. So this does appear to be gameplay footage. Now, where this user got this from, I have no idea. But I gotta say, from the looks of it, it actually looks like it's going to play pretty well, which is something that, you know, a lot of people were obviously going to be curious about. So again, we're just going to have to wait and see for more official information as time goes on. But I just wanted to show this off, a little bit of gameplay footage from what appears to be the Arcade1Up Time Crisis cab. Alright, so there you have it. Now you are all caught up on the latest leaks and rumors regarding Time Crisis. Now, when will this be official? When will we actually see it come out? No idea. Again, that German website seemed to be pointing to November, but again, that's outside the US, and we haven't heard anything official from Arcade1Up. As a matter of fact, I've been seeing Facebook posts on this, and John D's been going around with the hashtag fake on all of them. Sorry, John, I'm not buying it. We'll just have to wait and see. But hey guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of these new leaks? What do you think of the look of the cab? I think that is the biggest thing here, because so much of this we'd already seen before in terms of the games list and things like that. But I gotta say, I'm very excited for the way the cab looks. I think they've done a much better job than the original prototype. Just not sure about that price tag. If this thing does turn out to be in the $1,000 range, it is going to be a hefty nut to swallow. I'm not sure it's one that I am willing to, you know, put money down on, at least not at that price. So again, we're just going to have to wait and see what this ultimately turns out to be. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.